A very good morning, trader. How are you? So, today, 13th of February 2026, my name is Thiago Andrade. This is the trading cage where we beat the gold. And I would like to welcome you to our channel and our live today. So, yesterday we had quite a big retraction on the gold. And let's see what it has been doing since the opening of the Asian market last night. Just gonna organize a couple things here and then we'll get right onto it. Today was a bit of a difficult morning for me. I had to run a couple errands before I could actually get home to do this with you guys. But here we are, and we'll get right onto it. I don't like to be late because I think that people are waiting um, on the other side. So I can't really just, you know, leave people hanging. That's not nice. All right. So let's go over here to our daily chart and then see exactly what's happening right now. We may have an entry point here um, for a trade, but we're just over that 50% region now. Look at this. I haven't looked at anything yet, but yeah, that was a good entry point. But I'm late to it, so I'm not going to take it. And this is one thing that I always encourage you guys to do. If you saw an opportunity there, but you haven't really had a look at it to see if it's actually a really good option, just don't get into that trade. You can have better chances in other times. So there's no point of you rushing into a trade if you can just wait for the next one. And there's plenty of opportunities in the market every day. But that was a good one. Was just over that 50%. So now we were going to aim right here. This is your first target here, which is about 600, it's about 500 points from the entry point. Then if that does break through, you've got your trigger candles here, 138. That could stop the price. Otherwise, it would come right up to the high of 138. Okay. So these are the regions that you could be looking at the moment. Let's go to our daily chart now. Oh, okay. So looks like the coins have flipped. We had been talking about on how we were expecting that price to get into the trigger candle number 20 zone. It has done that already. So we had a very big capture of liquidity not last night. It was yesterday at about 1:30 in the afternoon here, Brazilian time. So it grabbed pretty much most of the liquidity we had until our stopping point. I actually had a couple of my students asking me where this price was going to stop, and I told them that it would stop at the trigger candle in the region of the 4879, and that's exactly where the price went, which is awesome. And this is one of the things that it's really good to know. Where is price actually going to stop? And he actually did exactly there, and that's where they got out of their trade. So they were really happy about that one. Candle 31 did test again that trigger candle 22. Okay. It tested it last night when the Asian market opened, and then it came back over to the 50% region. Okay, so once again, we are around this region here. I'm going to delete that. So now what are we looking for? We're actually just in between, again, support and resistance. So we have a good resistance here, which is going to be trigger candle 29. Okay, so this is going to be a trigger candle that could hold that price when price tries to go up. And then we can have the 50% here, which is a resistance by nature because simply because it's the price equality um, region. Okay, so we've got these two for the moment, and price does need to break through that 50 to get into that candle 29. That's where we'll find that resistance before price continues to go up. And if it keeps below this 50, we could see this price coming back down here, but it does need to break through that maximum high of candle 22. Okay, otherwise price will just be going sideways in here until it finds its direction. Now, we did see this retraction here on the daily. On candle 22, it did clear most of the liquidity we had to the left. So I don't see gold at the moment coming back down here to grab the liquidity that was left below this candle 258. Okay, there's still a bit of liquidity in there, um, but it's a bit too far away to say for the moment. I don't believe it should come back as far as that. Now, I do know that it can come to the region of this short here, okay, this trend line. So it could come around this region to grab more liquidity and create more liquidity up the top, so it can go grab that afterwards. So it could be that price is looking to do that, okay? They didn't have enough liquidity up the top to break through that trigger candle 20, even though it tried on candle 24, then went back on candle 27, pulled back on a candle 28, confirmed that pullback on candle 29. So it basically did its job, but then we have a big retraction on candle 30. So today is one of those days here in Brazil. We have the carnival starting pretty much tonight. Okay. So it is a holiday around here, but I know that around the rest of the world, it isn't. So as we are trading gold, gold does not stop during Carnival, even though that our indexes here in Brazil are not going to be working throughout this period. Right now, what we can say is we are above 50% of the day today. Okay, we have a pattern of three candles here on the 1 hour. Okay, so this price should be coming around to that trigger candle 102 at the moment. We just had a pullback on the 1 minute. Hang on, maybe I can actually jump into it. No, too late again. So I'm late once again. I'm not getting to that. So we have a pattern of three candles here. That's the target region right there on the minimum of candle 102. Now, if price does manage to break through, we have this 50% here, which is exactly that region of price equality, which did serve here during the night here in Brazil. It did serve as resistance for this last retraction. Let's see from the last retraction point of view. What exactly are we looking for? Where is that 50? So that 50 is just above those trigger candles. All right. Or if we pull it here to the height of that movement, we'll have it just above. So we're gonna find resistance for this price going up in these regions here, okay? As soon as they hit those targets there, those targets region, it will be getting quite a push from the sellers, I believe. Of course, what we had here is price tried to come back down, couldn't do it, picked up all the liquidity below 89, then pushed it back to the 50% region. Once it got in there, it got pushed back down, right? So, but it couldn't beat these candles to the left, this structure here. So it stayed in there, and then price pushes back up. Now you can see that it did not manage to renovate the high, not renovate, sorry, to renew the high of candle 98. So if it can't renew the maximum high, what it will do, it will come down lower to pick up more liquidity and then try to make the same move again. Okay. If the next movements cannot break through these high here, even trigger candles here, or these high, if it doesn't manage to break through that, we could see an even lower retraction to search for liquidity below, okay? So if price cannot break through, it will always come lower than the last point to try to grab more liquidity. Sometimes it will create a trend line going up, okay? So it will make higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, but it cannot renovate, cannot renew maximum highs. So once it cannot renew maximum highs, you see that it will actually come down and we stop everybody that purchased on those higher lows. Okay, so the structure goes pretty much like this. So you have a trend line like that. Um, I don't have zigzag in here. Let me see if I can put zigzag here. Oh, not toolbox, that's the wrong one. I need navigator. Chart drawer. Yeah, so zigzag is here, so why can't I use it? Let me try to use it here. Just so I can explain to you guys this thing. Since I'm already late to get into that trade. Okay, so so price may do this, and then it will create higher lows, and then it will come back here, and then it will come back here. It won't manage to actually break through the lows before, but then all of a sudden, after coming here so many times around this region, it will suddenly just come back and clear all that liquidity that we had in there, and then it may come back up, do this, come back up, touch there, and then it comes to stop all the sellers. Okay, so this is quite common to happen. Just want to tell you that this has happened before many times, but normally most of the time, when the gold at least it can't renew highs like it's supposed to, it will tend to do exactly this. So price is here, then it comes up to this line, it can't break through, so it will come around the 50% of the last retraction. We'll try to break in here once again, can't get through, so it will come and stop the guys who bought it on these low. Then it will come back up again to that region. If it can't break through, it will have to come down lower to pick up more liquidity and then come back up. sometimes during this period, what will happen is that it will simply induce sellers, right? So it did this, then comes back, can't do it, so comes back lower. Sometimes when it comes down here, the issue is that it is under the 50% of this movement, right? So not under, it will be below, sorry. On my line, on my Fibo stayed exactly where I needed to pull it up. So it will stay below that. Once it gets below that 50%, it may induce sellers to actually continue to short the market and bring it down a lot more. Okay, so this is what sometimes happens with the gold. There we go. Price has reached our target region here on candle 102. This is just a little bit of an insight of what normally happens on the gold and how it searches for liquidity. We all know that the market is moved by liquidity. So if it doesn't have enough, it's going to create some. And if it can't create some, it will just generate stops on the smaller movements until it has enough to make the move that the big players want to make. Um, okay. So right now we've got candle 106 getting to our target region there on the 15 minutes. We are right there in that region. So right now what we have in here, we do have that region of resistance just above. We do have also all these trigger candles here, which are in the region of the 50% of that last big retraction that we had yesterday. So we want to see price breaking through that um, to show us that the movement that it wants to make is actually a bullish movement. One thing that would be good to wait for would be the breakthrough of the 50% of the macro. Okay, just to make sure. So that would be um, a good thing to do. But if you want to get into short scalps before price actually hits that, you could get into scalps just over this 50% where the price is right now. Price has grabbed liquidity down below, so candle 105 did grab liquidity below candle 99. So we should have enough liquidity to break through these trigger candles here on the 1 hour. Okay, if that does happen, that will be showing us that we've got maybe liquidity enough to get around this 50% region once again. All right, so 5 minutes. Was a shame that it took me, I got in here late. Otherwise, we could have bought on candle 157, but it's all right. There will be other trades today. Do you guys have any questions? Good afternoon, Sabu. How are you? Do you guys have any questions about the reading that we have done now, the analysis we have done, and how we map this price? How we are waiting for it to move in the direction we want it to. Also, what direction it should take depending on which region. So if you have any questions, just text us through. Just send in there on the chat, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. Okay. So our goal for today, pretty much the analysis we can make right now is we got to be careful here at these 50% region. Okay, if price does break through, it would be coming back inside of this consolidation zone here, which we could hold a buy up until about the region of the 4989. We could also see price actually trying to reach that 50%, since in the smaller movement here, if we have a look, we are above that 50%, okay? We just need to wait for it to break through this resistance up the top. So we could see price actually coming up to try to break through that 50% once again. I've just got to make sure that I unselect all the big feebles. So cool. So that's there. Um, Candle 161 held on the trigger candle, okay, of the 1 hour, which is this minimal here. It did hold there. Candle 162 is making a pullback, as we can see on the 1 minute. We can see the pullback quite clear here. We do have a trend line going up, but at the moment price is rounding up, so it should come at least around the 801 to grab a little bit more liquidity to go up, okay? But let's see, or maybe not. Let's see, where is this 50% here? So it came exactly on the 50% for a price correction. I'm not going to buy there because that's a resistance in there. So it's not a good region for me to trade. And guys, don't forget to like, okay, this live, leave a good comment or a bad one. I mean, whatever uh, you feel like, but do leave a comment. And also subscribe to our channel, okay? It's really good to have you guys here. As I say every day, this is a new project. We have been going through it basically for a month and 10 days now. Just reading through and making analysis of the code every single morning together with you guys. So it has been awesome to have you guys here to make the analysis prior to the market American opening, which happens in here in Brazil at exactly 11:30. So it's about 2 hours from now. But once we actually map the price, we know exactly what could be happening. Then we can get into better trades when the time comes. Let me just have a look here on the 15 minutes. If this price can't break through that, it's going to start to make a structure with lower lows and lower highs. We may see price pulling back right down to that trigger candle during the American opening. Okay, so we might see it down here. So if price until later on doesn't manage to break through these highs here, it will most likely come back down here to grab all this liquidity that was generated once again. We have liquidity here. We have liquidity here. We have liquidity under candle 3 here. Right there. And we have a bit more down under candle 8 and 9. So this region here is full of liquidity if the price needs. So they may come down here to stop these guys prior to actually going up, okay? I would be really looking for buys if price breaks through these 50% here, because if it does, we have all of these inefficiency here to the left. Let me take that. Oh, hang on. Almost deleted everything I did here. Let me unselect those. We have a very big amount of inefficiency here that was generated in this region. Look at that. That's actually quite a lot. So if market comes back up, it could be going straight up. Once it gets in here, it will accelerate until these trigger candles to the left here. So we could see, where's the settings for my, we could see price accelerating by quite a bit in that region there. So I do, at the moment, I do prefer then to buy than to sell. But if the market just shows us shorting options, I will be selling on this market as well. So price just hit trigger candle there on the 1 hour, 15 minutes is starting a rejection. Let me say what would be, oh, we do have support here on the 15 minutes, candle 30, that could hold that price. So let's just wait a little bit for this. So we have these trigger candles here that can work as a support for this price here. It's basically in the same region as candle 43, which was resistance before. So we know that that region there is actually a strong region for support and resistance. Let's see if this will come back up. All right. Can we scalp short from 4970? You not really, simply because we have got candle 30 here that can stop that price. Okay, that trigger candle there. So if you're doing a scalp of about 400 points, yes, but if you're trying to go over 1,000, it's a bit risky. Okay, we have the movement above 50% of this last retraction here. So it's a bit tricky, that one. I wouldn't be shorting it just around here yet. It would be better to short it. If the price came back here, then you could short it from here to about trigger candles below. Um, so if the 15-minute candle closes, let's have a look. If the 15 minutes candles close below this region here, we would have a good free fall into about these trigger candles here, or even to the lower structure. Okay. The only thing that would worry me a little bit is that we've got trigger candle number 8 here, which is on the 50% of today. So these line here, green line, shows me the 50% of the day. So we can see that price went to the 50% of the day twice and could not break through. So if you want to short it, wait for it to come inside, to get inside of these trigger candles, and then you short it on a scalp until about there. At the moment, price is looking more like a buy than a sell, but it does need to break that trigger candle here on these regions here and this 50%. If it doesn't do that, then for sure it will be coming down to the 50% of the day once again. So I hope that my explanations are easy to understand. Okay. If it's not, we do offer private mentorships. So if you want to learn more on how to do this, um, so you can do it by yourself when you're trading, just get in touch with me. Okay. I do offer private mentorships. Look at that. So price is coming back up to try to break through there. quite strongly actually on the 1 minute here. Let's see if it will break through now. Didn't manage to close above resistance. Candle 164 is, did a small test down. On the 1 minute, candle 805 has closed above trigger candle to the left. So 816 is trying to break through now. Um, all right. Let's see how candle 164 will close. It's still below that 50%, so it's not breaking through. Candle 164 is coming back below resistance once again. Okay. So it has not managed to break through that resistance point. So we're still waiting. Nothing to do in that region there, okay? Don't buy in that region. Right? Okay, so 164 is coming back down at the moment. Uh, Sav, Savioro. No, Savio Romero. Hey, Savio. At the moment, there's no buys or and no sales. Why? Because we are in a region here just below resistance, okay, Savio? So the place to buy would have been candle 157 once candle 156 breaks through the 50% of this last drop. Right now, we are waiting to see if price is going to reject this resistance, because if it does, then it will have to come down quite a lot lower. Okay. So at the moment, there's no buy or no sells. If you buy here just below resistance, you could get a very good stop simply because you are buying exactly where the trigger candle is, not only here, but at the 1 hour chart as well. So if I come back here to the 1 hour chart, you see that trigger candle 102, trigger candle 102 is right there, and that's a relevant stopping. Um, sorry, it's a relevant stopping point for our price here. So at the moment, don't buy in there. Wait for a rejection of that 50% or those trigger candles so we can short the market. If it does break through that 50 and gets inside of these trigger candles, then we could be possibly looking at a buy, but it would be a short buy until the 50% of the larger movement. Okay, so market works in between high, low, and 50%. So in between this 50 and this 50, we could do a small scalp, but don't be trying to be a hero buying right here, because It could hurt on your pocket. Sometimes we make some decisions and we act on the price instead of we react on the price instead of acting on the price, and then later on we do regret it. So just be careful so you don't regret these things. Guys, don't forget to like our video and comment on it, please, and share this with your friends. Share our channel with your friends. Tell them to come around and participate of our lives. Okay, we're here every morning from 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning um, with the analysis of the gold. One thing, we may not have lives on Monday and Tuesday, okay, because it is a holiday here in Brazil. So Monday and Tuesday we might not have this live because I might be traveling, but we'll be back on Wednesday to continue with our lives, our daily lives. So we've got a bit of a rejection here on the 1 minute chart, but it didn't come below 50%. So it's not telling me that it's a confirmation of a pullback to the minimals just yet. If price does come through and break through that trigger candle A12, then we would have um, a pullback to the minimals. At the moment, um, we can't say that he failed the pullback because candle 164 actually renovated the candle 162's high. So as we can see here, candle 164 did renovate candle 162's high, so it completed the pullback cycle, okay, and now its obligations. But now price came and closed below this region once again. If we have a Fibo here, it's pretty much the same Fibo we have at 1 minute. But if we make a small Fibonacci here, you will see the price is still above the 50%. Now, if it comes below and start breaking through these trigger candles here, then we would have a full pullback, failed pullback to the minimals. If it fails the, if it not, sorry, it didn't fail the pullback, it would confirm pullback to the minimals. Okay, it would only fail the pullback if candle 164 did not renew um, candles 161's high and 162. And then Sabu is trying to really get on a short position here. Just be careful. Just wait for it. You've got to wait for it to show you where it's going, okay? Don't just go. Um, the other thing we do have around here, let's say, we could see a retraction until about here. The thing about these confirmations of pullbacks that they're quite good, but we are on a high trend on the micro movement here. So failed pullbacks are actually better to trade because then you know it's going to have to come and grab more liquidity below. When we sell on a confirmation of pullback on a high on an uptrend, it may get our stop. So it's not as good. So it did confirm pullback to the minimals now. It closed below that 50%. But it came right to the region of the trigger candle and held there. Let's say it will be strong enough to break through. Oh, there we go. Big push from sellers. If it can't break through that low, is going to have to come up to that 50% once again. Now, if it stay below this line here, the support line that I just drew, we could see this price coming down to this region of 50% below, okay? Because it will have to stop these guys and then it'll probably come down here. So it stayed below. I'm gonna put a short here. I'll lower my hand, of course, and I'll put a short here just to see if it will take me down to get over it. So the stop is actually quite cheap here. I'm gonna leave it here for now. But if it does break through these 50% here, then I'll be taking it out. Let me see if it will come to stop those guys. We have a confirmation of pullback with a candle breaking through trigger candles to the left. If it does come back and start breaking through these trigger candles, I'm gonna cancel my sell, okay? And then I'll wait because as I said, on the micro movement, the price is actually a bullish price. Now, it hasn't been able to renew that high, so price does need to grab liquidity to continue its movement. So let's see, it's just testing the trigger candle now. I've got my mouse here to cancel my order. Let's see if it goes our way. Okay, closed below that trigger candle once again, but did not close below candle 826. That's not a very good sign because if we have enough pressure from sellers, we wanted to see the price actually closing below the last candle's high. So as we can see, it's using this region here as support for the price now. Price tries to get in there and then it gets pushed back up by that support. But we know that there's not enough liquidity up there to break through that 50% and that resistance. So it should come down below to stop these guys before continue to move up. Let's see what happens. Sabu was crazy about shorting it. So just showing you how to short it. But it's not looking very good, Sabu, because we're getting here to this support here and price is not managing to break through, so it might actually come back up. Just 1 second, guys. I've got to take this. All right, so price is trying to break through that trigger candle. We are getting a bit of pressure from sellers. If it breaks through that trigger candle, I am going to cancel my trade. As I said before, if it closes above 50%, I am gone. There we go. Let's see if it will close. Oh, it's actually going to get my stop before it closes. I want to see candle 830 closing first. Got 15 seconds to go. 11 seconds. It closed above 50%, but closed below trigger candle 816. I'm gonna close this trade because candle 167 is actually just testing down to continue on its way up. Let's see how candle 831 reacts. Candle 831 does need to break through that 819 first, which is right in that 50%. If it doesn't, I will cancel my trade. It did. It closed inside of candle 819. Let's see what 832 does. If it continue on its way down. And this is, Sabu, this is exactly what I was saying before. It's really hard to get into positions in regions like this, simply because you're just below resistance, but you're just on top of a support. So whatever you do in places like this, where you have a consolidation zone on 5 minutes, you could be stuck on a trade for a very long time, and then it could just come stop you and then do the movement that you want it to do. Okay, so I lowered my hand here to actually get on this trade because this is not going to hurt me at all. I work with much larger margins than this. But this is exactly what I was saying. Oh, you want to short the market? Wait for it to start breaking through other candles before you get into that. Especially wait for it to break through some trigger candles to show you that it's going to be able to break through that support or resistance, depending on which way you're looking at it. So 832 and closed right on the edge of the minimals of 831. 833 did not test up. So we are looking at this price at the moment. It is below that 50% before, but it's not looking too good. Okay, so we are right here. And when I say that we've got to be careful about these trades, it's simply because of this. You may be stuck in a trade for a very long time simply because you jumped into it too quick. But now he did confirm pullback, so there was no need to be afraid of it. It does need to renew candle 811's minimals, but this region here of the FS01, it is holding the price because it is the lower below before here, so it's acting as support for the price. So candle 831 needs to hold the price here from 834. I don't want to see candle 834 breaking through that candle 831. Okay, so it stopped just before. 835 is going to try again. And I'm going to get out of this trade now. Hitting trigger candle 816 once again. 30 seconds to go. Thirteen. 7, 6, and I'm gonna get out. Okay, so candle 167 close here. Actually rejecting these low. Okay, candle 835 closed right on the edge of that trigger candle. Okay, so I didn't want to pay to see if this was gonna go my way or not, simply because we do have a really strong resistance up above. Okay, price has been trying to break through these lows. Candle 834 actually not renovated, renewed the lowest price here from 827. Okay, so this means that it grabbed a little bit of liquidity down below here, but then got pushed up, which means that once candle 836 tests down, this price is going to try to come back up here and then renew the last high. So for me, it's not worth holding that short trade, okay? Because price should come here to clear this liquidity above. My stop was right there, so why would I take a big stop, which would have happened now if I can close it before, okay? Sabu, did you get that? I hope you got that, buddy, on how we look into these things. So, guys, we got 4 minutes to go. I would just show you guys what I'm gonna wait for. So we have got prices here on a resistance. If prices actually come down because it can't break through, if it comes down and you start breaking the structure, once it breaks through and closes below these 163 minimals, okay, then wait for a smaller pullback so you can short until about this trigger candle here. Just be careful because this region of the 50% of the day, it's going to work as support for the price, okay? So you don't want to be having your target just there. You would have it a little bit before on top of candle 154 or 153. Price could come to this region and actually hold on to there. Here on what we can see, we would have been stopped, but then price is moving back down. So good thing that we got out of that trade um, before when we did. Okay. Now, if price does break through that 50, what are we looking for? If this price breaks through these 50, the next target of the price is 5,000. Okay. But be careful because you have all these trigger candles to the left still. Wait for the price to come here, break through. Price does need to test this support again, which is resistance right now. It's going to become support in that region. So just wait for it. Okay. Once price breaks through, test down this region to show you that it has enough support. Then you can come back up with the price. Don't just buy it right here, because what you could see with price without testing is that price could come here, grab the liquidity it's actually made right here, because now there's a lot of liquidity up here. It can just come here and then grab the liquidity and bring the price right down. So we always looking for a test on support before we actually buy. All right. So this is pretty much what you could be looking for on the next couple of hours. If prices start breaking through these lows, you can short. Pay attention to this 50 region here and pay attention to these trigger candles below here. If price does break through this, then what we're looking for, we're looking minimals of today. So price will accelerate through this here, okay, because we got liquidity here, here, and below. So price could accelerate through here and then come down to the region of the 4879. Don't wait until 4877, okay? because that's the trigger candle um, on the daily. So just take your target before. Just go for minimals of today. You would be quite safe with a short until there. If it's going up, um, the sky's the limit, but around the 5,000 um, price is gonna find a rejection there. It is gonna find resistance. So you could get your take in the region of the 5,000, just below. Okay, you could even put on the highest, on the high of today. If it does stop these guy here, you could see a price accelerating through, but normally around the round numbers, price will tend to feel a support or resistance. Okay, so be careful with that. Guys, I hope this has been well explained to you guys today. I have to go because I do have to trade with my students now. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this channel with your friends. Okay, it has been awesome to be with you every single day. Would love to see you guys participating a bit more in the chat. So feel free to write down your questions, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. If you do need private mentorships, get in touch with me. Okay, we actually have got a really good rate for those. It will be awesome to be forming more traders around the world together with the school that I work with. Okay, so we have trained and made more than 60,000 traders here in Brazil, and now we are bringing this candle per candle reading out to the world, and it will be awesome to have you guys together with us. Thank you very much. This has been the Trading Cage. This is where we beat the gold. And I will see you on Wednesday next week, okay? So Monday and Tuesday, we might not have these lives because I might be traveling. So on Wednesday, we'll be live once again with our Trading Cage.